In this conversation with Jason Hand, we talk about a different way to build residential homes. It's a great conversation for a contractor, somebody in the contracting business, but also a business owner to learn what it means to actually have a set of values that you live by. And so if you want to learn how to be a better business owner, or if you're interested about contracting business that can be done differently, check out this conversation with Jason Hand. All right, welcome to the Meet St. Tammany episode for our podcast. I got Lauren here and our good friend Jason Hand with J Hand Construction. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah. We were talking earlier today. You got a lot of social media content coming out with all the things you got going on. New house downtown Covington. You got one in Mandeville. Got one in the Parade of Homes over here in Terabella. So I'm excited to tell people about you and your business. And I think what really sets you apart as a builder, the way you operate your business. I'm excited to tell them about how you do that too. But
thank you.
Yeah, let's get started. But with just your history as a builder, right? I think that it's important to kind of lay the foundation of who you are as a builder. You've got spec home builders, you got people who kind of build in that middle range, but I think you've kind of set yourself up to that luxury style home, and you do a really good job. Everybody that we see in the closing room that talked about the experience they had with you, they say that it was one of the best experiences they had with a builder. So
which
tell
is
us
rare.
which is rare for sure, especially in this time. So let's talk about you and your business and a little bit of your process.
Yeah, so I started, actually this summer will make 15 years that we've been in the business. And
So you're old.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it ages you quick. We've done about 100 customs in 15 years.
Nice.
I started out in the building supply side of the business, so which was great because I got exposure on, I worked at 84 Lumber. That's $1 billion company, buying and selling lumber, warranty callbacks, you get experience. You get to work with builders. You get to be on different job sites, see how they run jobs. And when I worked at Acadian Millwork, which was a high-end custom millwork company.
Yeah.
Did French Quarter work, did the Metairie Country Club 20 years ago when they did that big expansion. And just got to learn a ton. And I started building my own personal home every 2 years.
Okay, nice.
And so a neighbor said, "Hey, I think I want you to build mine." And so we did. We built the house in Willow Bend. First house we did. Won Best in Show in the Parade of Homes going back, a while ago.
Yeah. And
then second house got published in a magazine, and we never looked back.
Nice.
So we've always gravitated towards custom. We've been asked to do commercial a bunch. We've been asked to do smaller renovations a bunch, and it's just that's kind of our wheelhouse. It's just custom.
Just trying to stay in your lane.
Yeah, the process.
Yeah.
And working through that. So.
And a lot of people who do that many custom homes, you're doing 6, 7, it's 8 a year sometimes, right?
We did 23 and 19. Yeah, we've gone as high as 23. We've gone as low as like 4, depending on the size.
Yeah.
I think we have 7 under construction. I think we have 9 in design. And then the parade's coming up, so who knows what that's going to kick off.
Yeah.
I just love that you stay in your lane. Because I can tell you most construction litigation that I've dealt with in my years of practice is because somebody tried to step out of their lane. Whether they were doing a favor, right, and just said, okay, yeah, I can help somebody with this, or even doing things for themselves, and then they're in a dispute with the other parties involved in the transaction. Commercial construction is not the same as residential construction, right? Prefab's not the same as custom. It's different relationships. It's different expectations.
Yeah, we actually, staying in the lane, we actually do that with our trades. So our painter only paints. Our sheetrocker only does sheetrock. Our cabinet guy only does cabinets. Like, some of the vendors are like, "Hey, let me sell you this and let me sell you that." It's like, no, I want you to do this really well. And when you get those people together, especially on a job where everything's pre-selected and it's worked out, like all the subs look around and like, "This is good. This is awesome."
Yeah,
it's quality work.
Yeah, you got the A team out here, and this is great. Yeah. And they can get in. I was just having a meeting, doing a punch list with my electrician. He's like, "Man, I love, it makes them all profitable. When you get tripped to death and all this stuff, what actually happens in the beginning of designing a house, you'll have client fatigue. They'll go in to design a home and they think it's going to take 2 months. It can take a year.
Yeah.
And I've had clients call me up and be like, yeah, I bought a house this weekend. we're going to sell the lot. Like we're just done with the process. You know, it's just too much.
I've heard several people come in the closing room to say like, yeah, we're going to build, and then we decided we were just going to buy.
Yeah. And then, so what will transfer is if you're not organized with your trades and pre-purchasing everything, like take a page from the commercial industry and apply it to the residential and organize yourself in that fashion, you'll get subcontractor fatigue. So it goes from client fatigue and gets passed on to the subcontractors, where they get out there, they have like 90% of what they're supposed to do, but the other 10%, you know, they're unsure and they'll just come back. And look, all the trades want to be cool. They want to roll with it. But what happens is they're losing money, and they don't like it. It eats them up. It wears on them. I mean, in 15 years, there's been relationships we've had with trades that I'm like, you know, if we were to revisit that relationship today, we'd actually be working great together, you know. But look, there's evolutions in every business, and even the trades themselves.
Yeah.
And so the client, they'll get fatigued, and then what happens towards the end, that fatigue turns into like just frustration.
Yeah. So so I think like we talked about it, and you know, Lauren's family's in the commercial business, and when we built this building, it was a much different process than somebody building a residential home. Like you said, we picked everything out up front for the building of this building. And so when they started the building, I didn't have fatigue. We picked everything out. I walked away and came back, and the building was pretty much exactly what they designed when they did the 3D modeling of the property. A few things that we did here and there, but it wasn't a very hugely stressful process. So you've taken some of that commercial industry processes and put them into your business. So let's talk about how whenever somebody comes to you and they're like, I want to build a house, what are the first couple steps before you even break ground on the property?
So always what we talk about is, if they don't have a set of plans, budget. What are you trying to design to?
Say it again for the people in the back.
Budget. There's no point in going through this process. 87% Associated Professional Builders, it's an international company, studies custom home building a lot. And they have that 87% of all house plans drawn never get built.
Yeah.
Such a high percentage.
It can be for multiple things, but it's usually budget.
Yeah.
And so,
like I said, we've done 2, and both of them didn't happen because of budget.
Exactly. So either you find the architect first, and then they can bring in a builder early on, which is what you should do, or find the builder first, interview them, and then say, what architect do you like working with? So we take it a different approach from the aspect of, I work with a lot of different architects. I love custom home building. I love building really cool stuff with clients and really taking their dreams and being like, let's kick butt with this. That's not always going to be the same team. Like the Parade of Homes that's coming up, we have a very traditional Terabella house that's on the parade. That's one architect. That's one designer. We have a house in downtown Covington that is a ultra modern. Say ultra modern. It's a modern, but especially for around here, different. It's for 2 architects, husband and wife team. They're great. Different architects, different designers. So if your desired outcome based on that, you know, we work with 10 different architects, probably 7 or 8 different interior designers. You're going to want to go ahead and partner, like start off the bat with the right person.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, okay, if I ask a client, you know, show me 5 homes that you like, and 4 of them are a specific designer, well, that's who we need to go.
Sure.
Subconsciously, you really like something that the designer's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Let's go meet with them. Let's get the budget right. So we go ahead, we get that to the table, get the budget right, get it designed. And then something that we do, it's not commercial. I don't know if it's anybody. We run a transparent contract.
I love that.
So
one of your values. I don't know if you've actually picked the value, but when I describe people talking about Jason, I always talk about how he is the most transparent builder that I've ever met.
It's wide open. Portalette, dumpster, cleaning crew, framer. And I tell people,
Portalette's wide open? I don't know if we want that.
Right. And I tell people, listen, it may be the best framer or whatever, and they are, but they're, or you know, and he's better with it, but you'll just see that you're going to see the raw invoice, and it might be a text message screenshot. It may be old school handwritten. Like, it's just that. Like, we're going to open it wide up, and you're going to see the transactions of everything. And so what happens, our contract's just a Louisiana state contract, but we have one little clause that says we're going to show you all of every invoice with an updated budget every week. And anything that's left over goes back to the client. So we get paid to build. So we work off a one set fee. It works great. We divide it up into small mini draws. So we get paid just like the framer. So when we frame the house, it's a small draw against our fee. Our contract also states that we're not allowed to touch the money that's already been given to us. It's ours until we give you a copy of every receipt with the updated budget.
Mm.
So it gives a whole layer of transparency that it just makes it comfortable. Now, one of the main reasons we do it is we want to have fun and build something really cool. And in a great house, in a well-built house, if you take the finances out of it, you've just neutralized one of the biggest parts in the house that, can get contentious and there's a lot of anxiety around it. If we've just eliminated that, we give you access to the checking account, give you access to the budget. Now, every time we meet, we're talking about the house. We're talking about what new idea you might want to implement, what an interior designer came up with. It totally just wipes that out.
Yeah. So what if there's a change order? How do you handle change order?
So we don't charge for change orders. We don't mark any early pay discounts, contractor discounts, everything goes back to the client. So a change order, let's say we just sheetrock the house. You walk into a foyer and you got an office to the right, but to the left, there's a bedroom 4. And you're like, I'd really like to put a cased opening here. If the framer's like, $300, I'll come reframe it for you. Sheetrocker's like $100. Just add those two up. That's what it costs. Because at the end of the day, how much does it really cost me? The sheetrockers, they're already out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And I pad in custom home building, or really any building, but in new construction, your 3 biggest variables are dirt, concrete, and lumber. So we just go ahead and say, look, if you have a lumber budget, because that's your biggest, it's a commodity, it fluctuates with the stock market. So if you had a lumber number of 100,000, a quote, and you put, if I put 110, are you comfortable with that? Nah, that's kind of cutting it close. What if we put 130 or 150? And then, and let's say it comes in at 110, and then we put 150 and you get to keep the 40. I'm cool with that. I just want to pay the raw cost. I only want to pay what it's going to take.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. We just give all that money back, and it works out great. We just built 2 homes last year, or a little over a year ago. One was we gave them a check back for $160,000, and one we gave them a check back for $176,000. And I made the money that I needed to make on it. They're happy. They give us great referrals.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Nobody's ever mad about getting a check.
No, it's
a
great.
new house and a check. I love your process because it's almost like a set timeline, right? That pushes the project forward, but it forces you, because you're putting those receipts in, to account for budgeting, right? Because the other side of change orders, like, you're not charging a service fee, but you still have to charge for the supplies, for the labor, right? It's still a cost that's in the project, even if it's not a service fee. And what we watch happen all the time that people fight about is those costs just incur, and no one's adding them up periodically and saying, this is where you are in comparison to your budget. Then you get to the end of the project, and instead of getting a check, they're demanding more money because they went over budget in their selections, and that's where litigation starts.
And it would be really good to know that if you're going to spend an extra $10,000 in countertops, that you were $20,000
correct
under budget or over budget that you didn't know that you had to pay. So that's why we do invoicing every week.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a real life, a weekly of heads up of, oh, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
So let's say between dirt and concrete, we were able to save you, $20,000. Well, now spending $10,000 on countertops is fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when you nickel and dime it, you don't pay attention, right? Even building my own home, my brother built it, love it, family thing. But it was just like, okay, yeah, I mean, the countertop, it's only $2,000 more. Oh, and the big iron door, it's only $8,000 more. Like, that doesn't matter. And at the end of the project, it was like $60,000. That happened fast, right? And you're thinking, like, what did I even pick out?
That makes Christmas awkward.
Yeah.
It does, right?
Yeah.
We fought each other. It was fine.
Yeah.
I won the wrestling match.
Yeah. So something else you've mentioned to me in the past too, just kind of us connecting, was that there's a lot of building projects. There's always a huge delay because of the fact that the actual homeowner is taking a long time to pick out the different items throughout the process, right?
Yes.
And so part of y'all's process avoids that. So talk about that a little bit.
So it would shed a lot of light is, one, I sold a lot of commercial building supplies and the way that they buy a project out before they even start. There's a lot to be taken from that. But I had 2 projects. One was right down the street. One was with traffic, about an hour and a half one way, so 3-hour round trip. Both homes were almost 8,000 square feet. And the one right down the street took me 2.5 years. The one 3 hours round trip took me 8 months, 8,000 square feet. And I couldn't wrap my head around. And before, when, you see a house that's taken a really long time, a lot of builders like, oh, and they kind of like blame it on the homeowner. They're taking a long time. But then if you're a builder and you've participated in a build that's taken that long, you know what? You're the professional. You should step back and say, no, I've built the home. I just built the home in 8 months. Like, what did we do on that one that is not happening here? You're the professional. You're signing the contract with them. You're telling them how it's going to go down the schedule. You got to say, before we start, these are the things that we need. And so you go ahead. We have 5 meeting benchmarks, and they start before dirt work, before permitting, before dirt work, before foundation, and before framing. So it's a lot of selection. So you do have time to make the selections. But when you sign a contract, it's like, oh, let's celebrate, let's hang out. We're building this house. It's like, that's the time to get started. I actually am signing a contract in 2 days. I have the interior designer. We're gonna meet at 1:00, sign a contract, go over some basic details of the job, and the interior designer's coming at 2:00.
Nice.
We're starting right into the selections. They want this home built, they want it timely, and that's the way you do it. You hop right on the selections, right on the finishes.
Yeah.
And it's going to speed everyone up. It's going to have a healthier build, a happier build. Your subs are going to be more profitable. Everybody's going to be more profitable, and they're going to get a better product. When your subs are happier and they're like, man, this is awesome. We're rolling everything that, we lay out for them. It's right there. They don't have to ask a whole lot of questions. You get an overall better product.
So will you not start the project until you have selected everything?
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's tough, and you're not cool when that happens. And you're in sales and in business, you're trying to keep the client happy, but most of our clients definitely respect it. And they're like, no, I get it. Look, when a foundation's poured, it's fine. It's a big hunk of concrete out there. It's only getting stronger. It's not rotting. Once you put lumber on that property, it's porous. It'll rot. It rains. Just finish raining.
We happen to be a humid environment, aren't we?
We're tropical. Yeah. So I don't think we really want to put, lumber. I don't want to be changing, deck boards and stuff because it's rotting out just from construction. You want to have everything ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of commercial guys, they don't touch residential. And they're like, no, that's
There's
not
so much
going to happen.
less fixtures to pick in the commercial realm. It's
it's not, a lot of times different. Commercial is not personal.
Yep.
And they're like, they'll tell a doctor, look, I'll build your office building, but not your house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll build your house. And, but I don't want to deal with fire marshal and
ADA,
this and yeah. It's look, it's a fantastic business. It is. It's the big brother to residential.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different animal.
But I do like how you've experienced the commercial world enough that you know the best practices and things that help avoid issues, and you apply that to the residential world to make it a better experience for the actual customer, which I think is great.
Win-win.
So, one more question: Are you actually purchasing those items before you start the project, or based on your timeline when it's time to purchase those different things, but they've already been picked out?
Yeah, we pick them out and purchase them.
Purchase them both. Okay.
Yeah. So, during the whole COVID mess, you had a lot of price, jumping all over the place. That's pretty much over with. But we go ahead and we give the purchase orders to our vendors, and they are just sitting on them. You make that call. If you see a price increase coming up, go ahead and release the order. We're just going to ask you to sit on it until then. But yeah, it leaves our office immediately.
Gotcha.
We just need it by this day.
This is when we need it. And,
gotcha. Okay. So
and
you get
so
the expectation.
The other thing that we do is, like my estimator, she's been with me 6 years. Lori's been with me almost, I think 14.
Yeah.
They kick butt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing without them. But we manage our schedule like 3 to 4 months ahead of time. We're not 2 weeks ahead of time. We're like 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
So it's and when you're 3 to 4 months ahead of a project, you can be like, well, that's got to get ordered, and that's got to get ordered, and so that's why we push for those orders. And a lot of times, like if a client's like, this is just, it's a lot. It's like, well, either we do it now or it's way more expensive down the road.
For sure.
And that's where, like we're talking phantom cost of construction. Ordering in time will save the real cost of the project just escalating, because it's not just the materials. So if you take $1.5 million at 8% interest only with a bank, that's $10,000 carry cost a month. So if your project was scheduled for 1 year, but it goes 2, so that extra year at $10,000 a month, that's $120,000. You add taxes and insurance to that, you could be $150,000, $160,000, $170,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you live in a like-kind property and you can't move into your new construction house,
pay for that too.
That's another $150,000. So just to not have everything organized and up front, that's $300,000 that you added. So you went from $1.5 million, add 300,000 to it. And anybody that's built big new construction homes, they know 3 years isn't crazy either.
Yeah.
And I even seen some at 4. So you can absolutely build a large home in 12 months, 14 months, 16 months. If we're past 16 months, there was a lot of pre-planning that kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
And
so I mean, you're dealing with right now. You said 7 houses you're building right now.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you? I mean, you and Lori and
Liz,
all 3 of y'all are the only 3 of you are managing all 7 of those projects. And so y'all have weekly meetings to just check in on each property as y'all are building it.
Yeah.
Yep. And their job is very clearly to make sure they're managing the administrative side, the invoicing and all that stuff. But you're still having the relationship with the client, right? You're not passing that on to them in any way.
No, we all touch the job in very different ways. If you have questions about selections, purchase orders, things like that, you know exactly who to call. Liz, and she's already ahead of it. Finances, you call Lori. Permitting, job site, you call me. It works really well.
Yeah. We worked with your team often on different things, and they always do a really good job.
And one thing I heard, I'm always looking at different builders, especially that are doing it big time, like in Austin, Houston, Nashville. And there's one out of, I believe it's Austin or Houston, Erin Stetzler, and she builds some great homes. And I think she's like 10 million plus on her builds. But she had a great statement: shovel while the piles are small. And that's the best advice. Like if you go to a job and it's like, man, I really got to get that done, do it, because it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
And then it's going to only compound itself and then possibly back up trades. We hit our jobs every day, and it may be for 30 minutes. It may be for 3 hours. It may, we don't just drive by and look. Like we walk it. We have 2 apps that we run, one that the client can see with weekly updates, pictures, progression, schedule, finances, everything. But we also have another app which documents everything. So that's a big thing. Like you ask 15 questions of your builder, and then they answer 10. Like, what about the other 5? And with this app, like it doesn't leave the system without a picture of it completed. So there's
Lawyers
no way.
love this.
Yeah. There's no way to say, well, we did that. Well, it's not a picture. It doesn't come off.
Yeah.
So
right.
There, it's done.
Yeah. So you say an app. That's an app on the phone that you and your client both have access to.
Yeah.
The one and the other one's internal for you and your team to be able to access to be able to manage the project.
Right. So what happens is we just send the trades the list, and look, it happens. You give a trade, hey, these are 10 things that have been uploaded to the system. They give it to their person to get it done. That person then gives it back to their boss, tells our company we did it. I went out there that morning and updated 8 were done, 2 weren't, and then Liz says no, they weren't. And rather than have a back or forth, it's just here's the picture of it not done.
Yeah.
Hey, you told me, and they get it done.
Yeah.
And it works really well. Like
the accountability, I'm sure they welcome. I mean, what I see in the construction industry is you have people that are really good at their trade, but that doesn't mean they're good at project management or that they're good at paperwork or documenting. You joked earlier that sometimes you get a text message receipt or a picture of something handwritten, right? It doesn't make them any less skilled from a labor standpoint, but terrible at project management. So this is a tool for everybody working on the project that I'm sure that they appreciate, because I do believe that people genuinely want to do a good job. And when the project goes south, it's usually for lack of organization or project management.
It is. Most every trade out there wants to do a great job.
Yep.
I mean, they really do. Nobody wants to go out there and do a bad job. And so, it just, not every, especially with technology today, it's just gotten so fast out there, but it's also gotten easier.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I couldn't imagine building all these homes with,
pen and paper
in a beeper.
Yeah.
Dude, how do you have that? I don't know.
Beepers, and then there was Nextel.
Nextel
really
I had
upgraded
Nextels.
it. I went to college with a Nextel, and I'd be like in class, and it'd be like beep beep because they'd be on the wrong channel talking to me about a construction project.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I worked at 84 Lumber as a salesman, and it's probably been 18, 20 years. But you hear all the chirps going off
all day,
and you can't interrupt them, so they can just tell you whatever they want to tell you, and it's just you just gotta listen to it, and you can't cut them off. And then when it on clicks,
But
you can go.
at Katrina, none of the phones worked, but them
Nextels
Nextels, we were working.
We were
Working.
That's funny.
I was a proud contractor's daughter then.
Let's talk about the Parade of Homes. I know you mentioned it, but I think it's important to talk about. You do the Parade of Homes every year. It was a big part of your business getting established. And this year, there's 2 different Parade of Homes, which I just learned about something. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
There's a Mandeville Parade of Homes, totally separate and apart from the St. Tammany Parish North Shore Home Builders Parade of Homes.
Yes.
And you've got 3 houses so far that are going to be between the 2 Parade of Homes. So let's talk about each one of those houses and why the parade's so important to you.
So we have the Terabella Parade of Homes, or North Shore Parade of Homes, which we have a house in Terabella. It's more of your standard North Shore, home that's, built Terabella standards. It's great. Great interior design, great architecture, and it shows the kind of juxtaposition and the different styles we can build and not have everything look alike.
Mm-hmm.
So our house in downtown Covington, which is a very modern house, it's built on the Bugafly River, pretty much Defuncta River, but the Bugafly River. It's built for 2 architects, different design, and you can really see it looks like it's not even the same builder. It looks like it's not even like anything, but they're both very well done. And what happens is with transparent construction going back, you can basically, like Mr. Remsen, the architect in Trula, who we designed for, I went and presented to them on another project. And after that meeting, he called me and he said, I've been in business for 40 years. I've never seen transparency like that. You don't know this, but I'm building a house and now you're building it.
Nice.
And I'm like, awesome, let's talk. And then he sends me the picture of it. I'm like, get out of here. I'm like, awesome. let's do this.
Yeah.
So the Parade of Homes is great. A lot of people, maybe 3,000 through Terabella. It's 2 weekends. And then in Covington, we'll probably do, a good chunk. And then there's the historic Mother's Day Parade of Homes tour in Old Mandeville, which I believe is usually 7 to 9 homes. We have one on Maroney. So it was a true historic registered home. We cut it in half. They put a 70s addition on it. We removed that. We built a brand new addition on it. And then we went into the attic and added 2 bedrooms, an office, 2 bathrooms, and an entire den.
Oh my goodness.
And this little attic, it's wild, but when I tell you it's custom archtop doors, 1 3/4 inch thick, Spanish cedar. The windows are actually weight and pulley windows, single glaze, true historic built windows. And because I worked at Acadian Millwork for 5 years, I knew who to call and, how do we put this together?
Mm-hmm.
And to install, 13-foot tall, just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, cool.
So it's a really cool house. Actually, the door to the courtyard has, it's all wood door with bars, and it's got these gouge marks where the bars are. It came off of the Mandeville police station stables, and that's where the horses would look out and they just chew on the gate. So a lot of antiques in the house, great house to look. But again, different architect.
And that house is for sale?
No. We only do customs. I'll do 1 spec a year, time it with the parade just to meet new clients, and then that one's available. So this one in Terabella is available for now. Everything we do is custom.
Very cool.
So, and it shows you got true historically registered, you got standard North Shore. I say North Shore, just, a traditional house. And then you have a very modern house. So you can, with these 3 homes, you can come check them out and see the differences.
All the taste of Jason.
Yeah, right.
This is a plug for Terabella because we're neighbors, right? We've done cold baths together in the back of our garage.
Is this when I step out since I'm not a Terabella girl?
This is okay. But I think it's a big deal that you live in Terabella and you build so many homes here, right?
Yeah.
A lot of your clients are here. I think a lot of builders may not want to live in the same community that their homes are being built in for a lot of reasons. What do you love about Terabella, and what makes you comfortable being in the same community with all your homeowners? I'm sure the transparency helps.
Yeah, well, speaking of Terabella, first off, we lived in a subdivision down the street, and I had a Terabella home for sale. And I put my house up for sale, and I was moving furniture into the Terabella house because we're gonna come move here. And then I called my wife and I said, "Hey, I sold the house." She's like, "I know, I'm packing." And I said, no, I sold the house we're moving into too. So she's like, I'm going to kill you. She's like, we literally moved with 2 young kids. We literally moved the week after Christmas before New Year. And I had another house in here with an investor.
And you're still married.
Yeah.
She's an
20
amazing
years.
woman.
She's awesome.
Yeah, 20 years this end of this year. So we I had another house I was building, so we moved into that. And it was just the first weekend we came in here. We met some people and they said, "Hey, we're going Christmas caroling." And I'm like, "Who goes Christmas caroling? Like, what is that?"
Yeah.
And so they had me in charge of pushing the poinsettias. And each person we went to their house to Christmas carol, we give them a poinsettia. And then like every fourth house, they had like making snow globes for the kids, and then the adults had like their own little Christmas drink or whatever. And I'm like, this is awesome, you know. And I don't know if they Christmas carol anymore, but the concerts and everything. So we were going to live here temporarily, build somewhere else, and we're like, we're moving here. And so we've bounced around every 2 years. We've been in here 8 years. I've been building for almost 9 in here, and we've done about 51 customs in Terabella.
Wow.
51 just in Terabella.
51, yeah.
Wow.
We're and I have about 6 more in design, and yeah. So I get along great with all my past clients. I guess it's a kind of a testament to how we build, but
Sure.
yeah, it works great.
Yeah.
I mean, great subs, and you know we follow through with it. So
Do you get those maintenance calls though? And the client's like, "Oh, well, hey, I know you're having dinner, but
no, not so much. You know, we really one thing that I started early with the business, we really try to respect the time. So like in our contract, we actually put, we're open between 8 and 6. Let's be realistic with it. And I've even signed contracts with clients, and they'll look at their husband or whatever, and like, you should kind of follow this too. Like, but look, at 8 o'clock we're on.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get answers. So we a lot of that, no, but that goes back to the trades too. They get out there, they do a great job. It's well built. And that goes to the thing that we're trying to get into, or we're not trying to, we're knee deep in it, is, healthy homes, building science. We only use zip on our houses. We don't use Tyvek, and we can go down the rabbit hole of each thing. But your surface level is like low VOC paints and things like that. But when you really get into it, going back to the heat and the humidity around here, we're tropical. I think one of the largest national builders just had a huge class action hit in Slidell.
And they're heading out of town.
Yeah, it's the humidity. Our humidity is wild down here. So, approaching a healthy home, and there's a few professionals in this industry that really are really good at it, and they're pretty hard to get a hold of. So, the way we get ourselves into it and, really can do a deep dive is our clients want it. So we have a couple of homes that we're starting for engineers. They really want this in their personal home. And I'm like, fantastic, let's do it.
Yeah.
They're willing to pay for it. They're willing to do it. And that's where our open, transparency comes through. That allows us to talk about that.
Yeah.
Should we spray foam the roof line? Should we do this? Should we do this? This is just raw cost. We can kick quotes back and forth real quick. We're about to do one in here. Aesthetically, it's going to be a great looking house, but it's going to be a high performance home. And I think we're going to document it to show the local community. You go to Austin, Nashville, they're doing it left and right, almost on every build.
Yeah.
But when we get around here, it's just a whole,
for sure,
it's a little bit of a struggle.
For sure.
So
yeah, we've actually had somebody on the podcast who designs those smart homes or the safe homes. It seems pretty reasonable to me. That's very cool. Well, I'm excited for you, man. I hope that people go out and visit the Parade Home. Stephanie's going to listen to this. She's going to want to go see that house.
I want to see them now.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I've been to the house here. It's going to be great once it's completely wrapped up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go see that house in downtown Covington.
And I've never been to the historical Parade of Homes. I didn't even know it was a thing. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. And you don't have to compete with the North Shore Parade of Homes that day because they're doing them on different weekends this year. So
they moved it up.
Yeah. So you get both opportunities.
Are we doing cookies this year?
At Jason's house.
Hey,
Jason, we're going to reminding cookies over to your house for the Parade of Homes.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
So, well, cool, man. Well, I mean, I've known a lot about you, but I think that getting your name out there more and let people know how you're building and this transparency that you have, I think is going to hopefully start moving the industry in that way, but also it's going to help you continue to grow your business. So
fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.